Hey everybody, Melissa here. So today we're going to be in LibreOffice Calc and I want to show you how to use data validation. Now what data validation allows us to do is define what can and cannot be entered into a cell. And if a user tries to enter data outside of those parameters, they're given a pop-up box that tells them what the issue is and then they have to correct it before they can move on. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with character length. Let's just say all of the cells in column A should be no more than 5 characters. What we want to do is go to Data, Validity, and our criteria instead of all values is going to be text length, and our data is going to be less than or equal, and a maximum value of 5. Now our error alert, for our actions, we have stop, warning, information, and macro, but we want to pick stop because we want them to correct that data length before they move on to the next cell. Our title is going to be invalid data, and then our error message is going to be must be 5 characters or less. And we're going to tell it OK. So let's say they enter 6 characters. They get the box that pops up that says invalid data, must be 5 characters or less. And then it removes what they entered to make them go back and correct it. Now to copy this data validation to other cells, just come down here, pull it down, and now it's in other cells. Let's just go down here, and the invalid data box pops up. Now let's look at drop-down lists. This allows us to specify what data can go in the cell. So to do this, we're going to go to Data, Validity, and our criteria is going to be a list. And I'm just going to type some values in here, apples and watermelon. Our error alert is going to be a stop, and it's going to be invalid entry. And our error message is going to say item must be selected, and tell it OK. So now you see a drop down here. Let's just say they enter a number. It says item must be selected and it removes it. Let's say they try to type in a new fruit, kiwi. It says item must be selected. So it forces them to pull something from this drop-down list. And again, we can do the same thing with copying it down. And now you have your drop-down list on your cells. Next, let's look at the date. It is April, so let's just say we want dates entered from March 1st of 2021 until March 31st of 2021. What we're going to do is go to Data, Validity. Our criteria is going to be a date, and it's going to be a valid range. And then we're going to do a minimum of 3/1/2021 to 3/31 of 2021. Our error alert is going to be a stop, invalid entry. And then we're going to put in there date must be between 3/1 of 2021 and 3/31 of 2021. And we're going to tell it OK. So they put in a date of 3/23/2021. Perfect. So now let's put in 4/1 of 2021. They get the box that says it has to be between 3/1 and 3/31. The last one we want to look at is time. Let's just say that we have some data being entered and the timestamp has to be between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. or whatever your normal business hours are. We'll go to Data, Validity, and our criteria is going to be a time. And we're going to do a valid range, just like we did with our date. Our minimum is going to be 8 o'clock a.m. Our maximum is going to be 5 o'clock p.m. Error alert is a stop, invalid entry, time must be between 8 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. And we're going to tell it OK. Now let's just say that they enter a time of 6 o'clock a.m. It tells them it must be between 8 and 5. Okay, let's do 5 o'clock a.m. It tells them it must be between 8 and 5. Let's do 5 o'clock p.m. It takes it. 10:45 a.m., it takes it. 10:45 p.m., they get the error message. And that is how you use data validation for character length, drop-down, date, and time in LibreOffice Calc. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please be sure to subscribe to my channel before you go. And if you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions for future content, drop me a comment. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Until then, thanks so much for watching.